Welcome to Scott Bryson Beyond the Service. We have a lot to get into tonight. We're going to talk about Trump and Elon, like everybody else and their mama on the internet's doing. I did a short on this earlier. I think it posted on Thursday. You guys, some of you have seen that. I've seen a lot of things on X, Instagram, the old internet in general, whatever. There's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of opinions. That's fine. It's what I have right now. This is an opinion piece. What I kind of want to talk about tonight, though, I have a lot of things going through my brain right now. I'll try to keep it succinct. I have multiple points I want to make, and we're going to try to break it down. But here's the number one takeaway for me, I think. In this country, you're supposed to be innocent until proved guilty, right? But because the court of public opinion is so strong and so loud, that kind of drives the train a lot of the time. And that's not good. So we don't know what happened yet. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that these allegations are not true. The problem is they're allegations, they're made, and that's gonna stick for a while until it's proved, right? Disproved, right? So just like if I'm a high school football coach and a child says, hey, Coach Bryson said something inappropriate to me or did something to me. That's why I don't go in the locker room, by the way. If you're a football coach or any type of coach, I would highly recommend not going into the locker room. A highly sensitive area for allegations to fly. All the kid has to do is make the allegation and I'm toast. They're going to fire me and I'm going to get run through the ringer. And it might take a week, it might take a month, it might take a year. But until my name is cleared, my life is miserable, and so is my family's. So just want to keep that in mind. You know, I want to talk about this really quick before I forget. Trump has been through the ringer. I'm a Trump man. Look at my hat. I mean, I'm a Trump man. I protected the man for 3 years. I love Donald Trump. I love his family. However, we call balls and strikes on here, and I'm not doing that yet because I don't have anything to call. Just like when he was in office the first time, I said to all the people that know me, this is way before BTS was even a thing, you know, if he did any of these allegations, get him out. That's what makes us different. When I say us, I mean the conservatives. Like I said, I don't even consider myself a Republican anymore. I don't think. More of an independent. I'm a free thinker. I just have conservative values because I'm a Christian. So that's where I'm at. And I don't understand, you know, why we as a group of people, free thinkers, conservative-minded individuals, whether you're Republican or an independent, not the rhinos, they don't count, they're Democrats. But why don't we circle the wagons around our people like the Democrats do? They'll circle the wagons around their people till the cows come home, even when they're dead wrong and you've got them dead to rights. You know what I mean? Like Joe Biden was, he, bless his heart, I think he had dementia before he took office. And they just won't admit that, you know? And look at Bill Clinton, all the things he did. Now, two wrongs don't make a right. And I'm not saying because Bill Clinton got away with womanizing that Donald Trump should, you know, but we don't know what we don't know. And I think we just have to be careful to not just jump at the first clickbait thing we see, right? And like Dan Bongino used to talk about all the time, sound bites and clickbait. That's what it is. It doesn't even have to be true. Half the time, they don't even apologize on the back end when it's disproven, right? These people need to be careful, though, because you can get your butt sued really quickly, and Elon has a lot of money to lose. So let's break it down. Let's just go back in time just a little bit and say that, you know, Trump has been playing chess the whole time on everything when everybody else has been playing checkers. He's been run through the ringer. Back then, I said, hey, if he did any of these things, which I knew he didn't do them. I knew he didn't. It was all lies. Adam Schiff and all that crap, they were all lying. If any of it had been true, I said, get him out. Impeach him. They impeached him, which was a fake thing. But what I'm saying is get him out of office, like Nixon actually left office, right? If he did something really egregious, put him in jail. Because we want accountability. I want the truth. Most people want the truth, right? So that's what separates us. And I am not going to be, I hope I don't become something that I have a disdain for. I do not want to be a hypocrite. So in that vein, you know, if I have to get on here later and eat crow and say, yeah, whatever, I'll do it. I will own up to it. I know you guys some of you guys have been like me and kind of tap the brakes and sort of circle the wagons on our people. And some people just jump on the bandwagon and throw them to the wolves. I'm not ready to do that. Just like I haven't done that with Bongino and Cash. I said I was a little worried about some of this Pam Bondi stuff. I like Pam Bondi, and I want to like Pam Bondi, but I'm just worried. I'm not saying she's done anything bad. And I don't think Cash and Dan have done anything bad. I think they're doing a really hard job, and it's thankless, and it's just tough. And so we just have to let the people who have been put in these positions do their thing, and we have to trust in the process. I don't trust the system, but I trust certain people, right? And that's what we're trying to do. And that brings me to my point about Trump and Elon. Trump is an elected. He's the highest in the country, right? He's the leader of the free world. He's the president of the United States. He's the highest office. Elon is a very smart guy, the richest dude in the world, right? He's got a brain that big, but he's not an elected official. And this is what happens when you play cutesy time, to steal Dan's line, and you get people put in positions they shouldn't be in. It's okay to have advisors and different things like that. I understand. Senior advisors and different things. I get it. I understand all that. Chief of staff. But, slow your roll, bro. You're not an elected official. And he got a little big for his britches. And I'm not saying Elon's wrong about everything. I think Elon's got some valid points. I think Trump's got some valid points. But that's the thing. You're not always going to agree with one party or the other, because I can think that Trump's right about this, and I can think Elon's right about that. And they can both exist in the same space. I think a lot of times we think, well, it's black or white. No, sometimes it's gray. And two things can exist in the same space, if that makes any sense. So Trump is right about some stuff, in my opinion, and Elon's right about some stuff. But what do? You act like adults, and you hash it out behind closed doors. And that is what's wrong with America. This doggone social media nonsense. It's divisive. I mean, there's some good things that have come from it for sure, but it's like, God bless America. What are we 10th graders? What are we doing? It's a bad look for each one of them. It's a bad look for the country. Just stop. But here's the thing I want to say, and I started to say this a minute ago, and I got myself off track because I've got so many things going through my head. What if, and this is best case scenario, and I don't think this is the thing. I wish this was the thing. When I was talking about Trump playing chess, this is what I was kind of hoping it was. We'll see. What if Trump and Elon are running their own little psyop on the Democrat Party and all of us? Because I've said it. That's why I was fussing about Pam Bondi a couple of weeks ago. Like, where's the doggone list? I want the smoking gun. I want the smoking gun. Where's the Epstein list? I want it. How can you send two people to prison, but no co-conspirators go? And I don't need the names of the victims. And some of these victims, these survivors, have come out and they've done interviews, and God bless them for their courage they've had. I don't need, stop telling me a bunch of crap about, well, it's for the victim. No, forget the victims. They're fine. Redacted. I don't even need to know. I want the manifest. I want the logs. I want the names. And let me just say this. Just because your name's on a list doesn't mean there's pictures of Trump and Epstein. Okay. And there was also pictures of Trump and Hillary Clinton. I mean, she came to his wedding once upon a time when he was a Democrat or whatever he was, just a unaffiliated billionaire playboy in New York with a reality show. He was awesome. I mean, how many rappers have made songs about him? Obama said he was the American dream. And then they try to walk that back. So I didn't say, well, yeah, you did, because I've seen you say it. Not only heard you say it, I saw you say it. So it's like we have selective memory. It's crazy. Bill Clinton, I know for a fact that Bill Clinton's name's on the log. That doesn't mean Bill Clinton was down there doing anything bad, but based on his history, I don't know, not good. Same thing with Trump. Trump's had a lot of, relationships with various women. But you know what? As a Christian, I know that's wrong. I believe that's wrong. I don't mean to sound sanctimonious here. I'm not trying to preach, but what two consenting adults do behind closed doors is their business. I mean, it is. It doesn't have to be right, but that's way different than doing stuff with, children. I don't think that's the case. I just don't. I can't bring myself to believe that. If I'm proved wrong later, then I guess that will suck for me and people that feel the way I feel. But I do know that right now the left is going nuts. They're loving this. And I just want to encourage anybody watching this that Maybe he's sort of in the middle. You're a little bit neutral. Maybe you don't even like Trump so much. That's fine. Let's just let it play out. Let's give the man the benefit of the doubt, because we don't know. It's just an allegation. We just don't know what we don't know yet. And like I said, best case scenario in my mind, this is like this major psyop that will get the list, because now the Democrats are spinning right. They're like, yeah, Trump's on the list. Put it out. Put it out. Put it out. Well, what if he's not on the list, and it was just a ploy to get the list displayed? That's best case. Best case. I really, in my heart, I don't think that's what it is. That's my brain going down a rabbit hole that I would be hopeful that might happen, and that would be like I said, best case scenario. I don't really think that's probably what it is, unfortunately. But I don't know, and you don't know. So let's give it some time. I think worst case scenario. Well, we know what worst case is. I just can't bring myself to go there yet. And like say middle of the road scenario, he's on the list. He's been down there, whatever. That doesn't mean he did anything. If you're on one side of the aisle, you're going to think one thing. If you're on the other side of the aisle, you're going to think something else. I mean, it's not for me to get on here and say what did or didn't happen, but it is frustrating, because it makes us look like what's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say like Keystone Cops. That's that's a police thing. Like when you're doing stuff and you look sloppy as a cop, you're like the Keystone Cops. That's just kind of. That's just what it make. We just look unprofessional. We look, I don't know, just it's a bad look for both men and the country in general. Like I said, I know there's plenty of people tonight that are slap happy about it. And there's people like me that aren't not pleased and not happy. And like I said, I hope it turns out to be nothing. But we just have to let it play itself out. And the other thing that I want to kind of close with, I think, is let he who is without sin cast the first stone. That's what Jesus said. I can't think where that's at right now. It's in the New Testament, obviously. It's red letters, Matthew or John, I think. I can't remember. But, Jesus was like, hey, do your thing if you're sin free. But none of us are. We all have sin. Some are small, some are big. As far as the way we view it, right? But I think a sin is a sin. And yeah, there's probably varying degrees of that. I think saying something inappropriate versus doing something inappropriate is probably two different things. But the point I'm making is it's all sin. And without repentance, you got no chance of surviving it. So I would say that my hope would be that if something bad happened, something went down, that the individuals that did that would repent, and they would ask Jesus to forgive them and accept him as their Lord and Savior and get cleansed of that. Because sometimes people make mistakes, and sometimes people make bad mistakes, and sometimes people make small mistakes. But it's not for me and you to judge, right? We just try to find the facts, and then it's up to that individual whether he or she owns up to that or repents or whatever. But that's not for us to decide. So we're just going to get on here and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to call balls and strikes. And I really hope I don't have to get on here at some point and go, wow, missed that one, because I've seen behind the curtain. I've been at the White House many, many times and worked him, and very fond of the whole family. And I think we just need to be patient, and we need to try to be kind.